Live. There we are. We are now live.
We're good.
Hello. Welcome, Michelle. Yes, I need a haircut. Hello, DJ. Lovely to see you again. Jane, welcome, everyone. Hello, I'm Barbara Tien with Projectkin. We're family historians hooked on stories because stories, like memories, are fragile. So if you can think of it, you know you can preserve it and share it as a story. And that's what we're all about. We're here with a collection of family historians here on Substack. And hold on just a moment. There's one important step that I did not take in my sneaky solutions there. Turn the sound down on your desktop machine so that it doesn't interfere with your mobile device if that's what you're doing, like me. Welcome, everyone. Joining me today. So I have Projectkin, which you probably know in terms of our effort to engage families in storytelling, on a mission to get everyone to tell their family stories. And we're here hosted on the Substack platform because it is just working very, very well for us. Joining me today is one of our dedicated members, Bill Moore of Bill Moore's Family History. And I have the links in the show notes if you're watching this as a recording. And of course, they're in our calendar event. And today we're going to be talking about nurturing family history on Substack and how we go about doing that, because we have a second role that we also play. Those of us that have been on Substack for a while also are around here volunteering to help others get comfortable with the platform, because let's face it, each time we jump into a new platform, it can get a little confusing and a little scary. So as MissionGenealogy, a second Substack that I use kind of as my volunteer effort, we have now a growing membership there as well, subscribers as members there, and we are all happy to help each other learn more about working together and how to support each other be successful on the platform to do whatever it is you want to do. Hello and welcome. It's so nice to see so many of you joining in today. It's a thrill to have all of you. So this is a special week coming up, as we have both an office hours scheduled for tomorrow, speaking here from California, based on the feedback we had for a vote. Decided to book that in our morning time, which is what I call Atlantic time, the best time window to support our friends from Europe across the Americas, and our friends in Asia Pacific, unless they get up very early in the morning, will be joining us from recordings. Hello, Dr. Mary Marshall. It's lovely to see you. And then next week, we will have two programs. And these are what we call our roundtable discussions. These are not recorded, and they allow our community to just get together and talk to each other, get to know each other. And that is why I have invited my dear Projectkin member, active participant, and real genealogist, Bill Moore, who joins me and has kindly agreed to join me as a co-host during the morning session of our roundtables. And joining me in the afternoon session from Australia will be Diane, the family history Bowerbird, who will be joining us. And for the sessions next week, you will need to register via Zoom. Actually, all of these sessions, you will need to register via Zoom, and you get those links from the calendar. So that is the housekeeping for the week ahead. I wanted to get some feedback from you, Bill, about some of the fun stuff that you're doing actually with your local genealogy society. Tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. We had our annual conference yesterday, and had a couple of really great speakers who came in, and each did a session in the morning, and then each did one in the afternoon. But with some really great content about what's available at the New York State Archives, and how to use some of the tools. And I've been having fun today using Family Search, full text search, going in and finding all sorts of deeds and other legal documents that my second great grandfather was involved with back in the 1800s. Um, and it's you can go down. That's a pretty deep rabbit hole. You can start going down, and you start getting into the deeds. But I learned quite a bit yesterday. Also, yesterday, something I shared with Barbara earlier. I've been uh, nominated to be the second vice president of the Rochester Genealogical Society. Um, in that role, I will be chairing the technology interest group, which as a retired techie, kind of fits in with my background, um, and also kind of fits in with some of the things that we're doing around here. Um, One of the things that I've been discussing with our writers group, which is really how I started getting involved with the society, um, was how they could use Substack individually and as a group um, to further their writing. And got some good interest. I've got 8 or 10 of them already following me on Substack, so they're getting their toes wet. We sat at lunch yesterday discussing it and um, talking about how I use Substack, uh, what you can do with it, some of the things you can't do with it. They Before I joined, were trying to use Discord, and it was not a success for them.
Yeah.
And reticence on the part of a few members, but the chair of the group is very enthusiastic about it. So we uh, uh, we sat down. I just showing them, see if I can get this up where you can see it. I had some business cards printed up. The QR code on them actually goes directly into my Substack. Um, I handed that out to members. I'm also was crazy enough to put my phone number on there, so I may be in trouble when they actually get in and start trying to work with it. Um, but gave that to them and said, go in, look at it, play with it, and see. Then if you have questions, um, I'm doing a presentation at next month's writers group meeting, and I'm going to be going live, showing them my Substack, showing them uh, you know, ways to go in and make changes, change the way it looks, and all the fun things that we can do with it. And then we're going to work to set up the writers group in a private Substack. They didn't want necessarily to go public with the group, but someplace where we can all exchange, things that we're working on before we're ready to go public with them. And one of the things that they like to do is present the things they're writing, critique them, um, and help everybody
Yeah.
raise their levels on that.
Yeah.
So that's going to be kind of our next step with the group. And I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be fun. Going to be a lot of work to get it set up, but um, we may be picking up a few more members for Projectkin and MissionGenealogy in the process too.
You
'Cause
know,
that's one of the things they were asking about was, well, are there people there that can help us? And I said, oh yeah, lots of.
yeah. Well, that's one of the things that first convinced Robin and me to set up a special place to help each other was when we realized that the majority, and I don't, Substack doesn't give us stats for this, which I wish they did. I've actually asked for them, but you can tell that new subscribers are very new to Substack when they have very few other things that they subscribe to, and haven't published anything. That's a good measure that they're probably
Yeah.
very new. Um, Dr. Mary Marshall asks, what is Discord? Ask a 14-year-old what Discord is. I mean, it's essentially, in many ways, it is a little like a Substack in the sense that you have boards where you can chat, but their business model is selling little skins and little funny faces and animations and things like that you can do, which just doesn't sell here, and is that's not where we all are, and many people will have explored it a little bit, but so I noticed that Robin and I both noticed that many of our people were brand new to Substack. So, and we're struggling a little bit with how to publish. What am I doing? What is a stack? What is a note? What is chat? So this is why we felt it was just important. And, at the end of the day now, we're all peers here, and it's so wonderful to have these great ideas shared with each other and collaborating even better than any of the tech stuff. Once you get back past the tech basics, I think the really fun stuff is happening in these roundtables where we find out what each other are interested in, and it creates this multi-region, international best ideas sharing environment, which is really, really wonderful. That's a great point. Dear Myrtle points out we are peers, not competitors. And there are so many ways, even you look at booths at a trade show, you feel like competitors. And in this case, we're commenting and supporting each other with what we're writing. And, oh, gee, I'd love to get your insights on this. And by the way, as you talk about having a private place to be able to do this, I shared this with you earlier. I did a project recipe last summer, I think, which was really all about trying to figure out how I could create what felt like a private Substack for my cousins and me to be able to trade updates on our shared family, my first cousins. And I played around with that. I wanted a pathway to our private archive. So it's called the Private Podcast, is my project recipe about how to do that. It's exactly the same. And now that you all basically understand how Substack works, very simply, you create a paid level that's super high and then comp everybody to come in. Boof. No one's going to pay you the $50,000 a month, and voila, you have a private podcast. And $50,000, maybe you'll think about it, huh?
Hey, if somebody's willing to do that, I'll take it.
Might be interesting. But in all seriousness, it is very powerful to have that kind of community group. And I think, I don't know, I'm so proud of what's happening now in lots of different groups, in lots of ways, that best practices and guidance and ways to have conversations. Dear Myrtle's here, having brought so many of her people from a Facebook kind of environment, using YouTube, using podcasts as ways to give people access to both the interactive community part, the comments part, but also just the, dropping the knowledge. And I think that's been a really fun way to do that. I see so many new faces. It's delightful to see all of you popping in here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Please realize we now have a best practice. At some point, I'll write all of this up. If you're specifically interested in wanting to do one of these yourself and want my best practices on how I've been doing it now weekly since about January, drop me a note. I can write it up. It's not hard. Which reminds me, I have tried to do these every Sunday with a simple idea of looking out to the week ahead. And I realized that not only is this week and next week pretty it's part of a consistent theme. It's all about mission genealogy this week and next week. This week is our office hours starting tomorrow, and next week on the Tuesday as well, we'll have 2 roundtable sessions, one for the morning and one for the afternoon. But next week, Sunday, insider tip, it's Mother's Day. Mother's Day here in the Canada, the United States, Australia, New Zealand. I don't think so in the UK. So I'm going to call call the recording off for next week Sunday. You heard it here first. I'll get the updates out shortly, but we're not going to do a session next week Sunday and jump ahead. I have guests lined up for the following 2 Sundays, because mothers, because it's important. So let's get back a little bit to, I wonder if you might share a little bit what you get out of both the office hours sections and the roundtables, so that people who've never heard of it have some idea of what that's all about. Again, it's at missiongenealogy.org/events, which is probably, might be how you found this one, but I combine both events on my same calendar, but you can get to just the Mission Genealogy events at missiongenealogy.org/events. So, Bill, having given you a preview of what my question is, tell me a little bit about what you think to be helpful in the Q&A session on this week and the roundtables next week.
Yeah, well, just I'm still fairly new to Substack. And I kind of I guess tripped across this group shortly after I got in, and I've just learned so much. Really, pretty much everything I've learned about how to set up my page and uh, has come from this group of people.
How long have you been on, do you think? 6 months? A year?
Oh no, 3 months.
Really? Wow,
Yeah,
look at that. I had no
yeah.
idea. You're just, we're fast friends. So there you go.
Well, similar backgrounds, but and I kind of jumped in with both feet. But yeah, so and I just learned so much in the short amount of time I've been on here. Um, and to be honest with you, I think my writing's improved a lot um, by just watching some of the things that other writers on here do, and the comments that we send back and forth. I've had some great tips from people, um, and that's what I think is great about about these groups is we're all here to help each other, um, and I think it's improved all of us over time, and the more people we bring in, I think the better we're going to be at it.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing. I somewhere along the way, partly it was as Robin and I were coordinating and getting started. But then I realized it was just good for just Projectkin. I've given myself three important uh nouns describing what I was trying to accomplish, or tone that I wanted to try to set. One is kindness, curiosity, and creativity. So the curiosity and creativity relates more to the Projectkin stuff. And the kindness is something that I hear over and over and over again by people, both in the kindness of what they're commenting on and the ways you go about it. And just, it has been just so overwhelmingly generous at a time where we don't hear a lot of that outside of places like this. And yeah, we can all still go out and hear our news and deal with the rest of the world. But in this little world where we're looking at where we're looking at history and the actual stories of where things were with peers who are trying to do the same thing, it's really a joy to see that kindness reinforced with more kindness. People going, and look at you. I mean, I've been on the platform for 3 months. Just a month ago, you were also my guest for our Roots Tech ride along.
Right.
Just stepping up there, and the bravery should be another category in here. Yeah, together we rise, which is such an important phrase in this historical period of time, and a deep respect for even what we're all learning from each other. Thank you, dear Myrtle. I appreciate that, and the kind words that so many of you have shared of the difficult stories, and how to talk about difficult stories, to go in there. We now have a nifty way to watch your comments without banging on the screen, which is what I used to do. Speaking of bravery, Sometimes we make a lot of stupid mistakes, as I have very publicly more than a few times. But I think that's what makes it. The kindness makes the bravery possible, and I think all of us are experimenting and trying new things to get here, and then trying new things to pay it forward to future generations in the work that we're doing. I find that just so joyful and encouraging in terms of where it's going. Do you have some questions for our audience, Bill?
Um, no, I guess any of you who are involved with your local societies, if you have any tips for me, it's I've been involved with that society actually not a whole lot longer than I've been on here. I I joined them about 6 months ago. Um, I had moved back. I've been a member of the the New York GNB for 25 years, something like that. Um, different groups, but
Yeah.
I've just been back in Rochester now for the past year. Um, so I'm new in that group too, and
Yeah.
uh, but because of my technology background and them needing somebody to lead that interest group, they asked me to step in and step up, which I was happy to do. I've got got a few ideas, although they beat me to the punch on one. Because one of the first things I was really hoping to set up was somebody uh, from Banyan DNA to come in and do a presentation. Because uh, you know, I, one of my early, well, two of my early posts actually were how I broke through a brick wall using Banyan.
Uh-huh.
And before I had a chance to suggest it, they had scheduled Margaret Press to come in and do a session here in a couple of weeks. So I can't take credit for that one, but I'll have to uh, find some others. But anyone who has suggestions of speakers
Yeah.
uh, or topics for us, I'm very interested in hearing.
I hope you don't mind my calling you out. Christopher Paget is on here, I noticed. And of course, I mentioned Dear Myrtle, and I'm sure many more of you have involvement and relationships with genealogy societies. I've been thinking about different ways to bring that expertise out and still complement the society work people are doing. You mentioned here experimenting with this idea of a private Substack access for members of the writers group within your genealogy society. There are some really interesting ways that I think we can do two things. One is allow people that are parts of members of different groups all over the planet to share best practices, to find speakers at given specific topics, best practices for these kinds of things. And then, between Mission Genealogy, which is focused on helping people get comfortable with this platform, or Projectkin, which is all kinds of crazy things about the kinds of projects that we do in our family history work. Um, I think there's lots of room to help each other in new and creative ways. So I'm certainly you got an idea, hit me up. If you're I'm thinking about writing a post specifically on that to invite people to identify themselves in terms of work that they've done for genealogy societies. I don't want to step in, and this is important. I don't want to step into the special slice that NGS has, for example, here in
Yeah.
I think it's specifically American. The National Genealogical Society has a special program for genealogy societies where they trade best practices and things like that. I don't want to step on those toes, but I do think that tips and things that people can share with each other are always great. For example, yeah, Oh, does the Genealogical Speakers Guild already exist, dear Myrtle? I know you, dear Myrtle, have posted as part of your videos over on dear Myrtle's archive on YouTube. You've posted a thing, perhaps it was done during the pandemic, of how a genealogy society can continue on okay, in an online platform. So she's just answered yes, there is
Yeah.
such a thing as the Genealogical Speakers Guild. Sorry, I don't know that one. I know most of my goodies I get from from Conference Keeper, the mighty newsletter
Yeah.
Conference Keeper, with Tammy Mize, who is also here on Substack. But those and their Conference Keeper is now part of the National Genealogical
Yeah.
Society. So again, kindness. These different groups have been so generous and open and giving of ways to make that work. All I can do is hope that we can continue to encourage that, support that in any way possible. And you're all very welcome to drop me a message or make public comments onto this recording, or anything else to help share those ideas and introduce yourself as a resource, as a speaker, or those kinds of things. I think that's absolutely fair game. And even to open up conversations about ways to have it. So Christopher Paget, which I happen to know has had a strong role in the Genealogical Society of Kentucky, if I'm not mistaken. I think these are all just containers and communities for folks to gather. They're called different things, but we're all kindred spirits. Well, gosh, that is exactly right.
Yeah.
And thank you, dear Myrtle, for the tip that also look for speakers at the Association of Professional Genealogists, which is at apgen.org. Those are all wonderful resources. And insider tip, did you know that these notes do not go to, are not saved with the video, but I have a sneaky trick there. I do a screenshot. That's what I just did. And it gives me a chance to say thank you to all of you who have joined us. See, watch me take a screenshot. um, Always appreciated for these generous contributions. And we'll keep these short and sweet. Look forward to same bat time in 2 weeks. Again, I will not be doing this program next Sunday because it is Mother's Day around here. And guess what? I'm a mom too. So we'll take this forward. And I want to thank you so much, Bill, for taking the confidence to join me on this crazy effort again. Hello,
Well, thanks for
Australia.
asking me.
Thank you so much. Such a connection across the planet. Always appreciated. And still, I can't help it, a little bit of a thrill. Thank you so much. Take care now. I'll be getting
Thanks,
this
everybody.
recording out as soon as possible. Bye bye now.
Bye.